All right. We're literally genetically wired to avoid going it alone, regardless of how we were raised. It just doesn't make any sense to be on your own in that whole pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And that's quite literally where the phrase "it takes a village" comes from. Well,
Mhm.
not quite literally. I actually looked it up. It originated in Africa. Now, this is
Really?
interesting. Yeah, it's from the Igbo and Yoruba tribes in Nigeria, specifically discussing raising children. And that
Yeah.
really, I don't know that I'd call that a full circle moment, but my granddaughter's Nigerian.
Yes, she is.
She is. And I was like, huh. Now, I think we've all aligned with that phrase, "it takes a village," long before Bella even came into the picture. But nonetheless, I thought that was a really unique kind of, I wouldn't call it a full circle moment, but more of a crossroads of, at least for me, where my position is.
Absolutely. I can't say that, I mean, I am now aligned with that. There was definitely a time when I first heard it, I hated it. But, I thought it was ridiculous, but how much it makes sense. Yeah.
Wonder if that's, you're raised up to stand on your own 2 feet, pull yourself up by your bootstrap. We're taught self reliance, and then we're adults and
Yeah, we
realize
realize.
that no. And I think your reaction to that's completely normal, right? Um, and I think there's a place for self reliance and pull yourself up for your bootstraps and da 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 da. You want to have self determination and a solid work ethic. Um,
Absolutely.
but there are things that simply aren't feasible on your own, which makes me think about single mothers or single fathers that don't get any credit,
Yes.
even though the workload's the same, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's incredibly difficult. But I can't help but wonder if this self reliance thing is kind of contradictory to strong family bonds and strong family values. Like you're supposed to do all this on your own, but you're supposed to be a big part of this huge family. Which way am I supposed to go here, right? I don't know.
It
I just
is.
thought that
Well,
was kind of a
yeah.
weird thing. Um, I was thinking you can make it on your own while as it's placed. Like I said earlier, it's just kind of dumb. Uh, and I think the idea is presented all wrong.
Yeah. Needs to be more do your own part.
Yeah, maybe pull your weight
Yes.
would be a better attribution. And then if everybody's pulling their own weight, and I think a key ingredient, pulling in the same direction,
Oh, wow. Yes.
because you can pull your own weight, but if I'm going over here and you're going over there and Jeff's going, Hunter's trying to make it to the moon or whatever, I don't know.
Oh my goodness. My husband's warped me. All I hear is Cartman in my head going, I'm going to go, yeah, you're going to go, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my.
So,
Okay.
yeah, it may well literally defy science to pull yourself up by your bootstraps.
I can
I
see
looked
that.
at some analogies about outside of humans, you
Hmm.
know, atoms cluster into cells, they work together.
Yeah.
Stars form galaxies, they work together. Water molecules form oceans, they all work together. Nothing exists on its own. It's even even nature outside of human beings, even physical but arguably inanimate objects such as dirt. They're all part of a larger ecosystem. So
Absolutely.
yes, they all do their own part because they're all pulling in the same direction. Stars specifically with gravity literally pull.
Well, in one direction. Yes, yes.
Yeah. Um, and I think you had made some comments about how can one or two people, and I like that you stated two people, the traditional mother and father or whatever, but still, how can they possibly prepare a child for adulthood? While isolation is easier in modern society, it's still damn difficult to do all that on your own.
Oh my goodness, yes. I can't, I mean, what I would have done for not, it'll be fine, but actually, what did you do that worked and didn't work? And everything works differently for different people, but dude, give some input to somebody.
Yeah,
No one can, no one couple could possibly know everything there is, especially in our ever changing world. You know,
right. Well,
the,
and it's so important, when you talk about growing up in a community, as young parents, you were once, I was too. It was awesome to have the advice of our parents, aunts, uncles, cousins, close neighbors, church members. And it's one of those, as I look back on it now, did I make mistakes? Certainly. But
yeah.
do I regret it? No. And the reason is, as I'm talking to my kids, and now my grandkids aren't having kids yet, but I'm like,
Yeah.
here was my experience. It didn't work for me when I did X. Now, everybody's unique and they're all going to choose to raise their kids their own way. And I think that's fine. But if you've got input from 30 different sources versus pull yourself up by your bootstraps, figure it
Yeah.
out.
There you go. Yep.
Well, you know, the reason the library, well, they're online now, but the reason the libraries came up in prominence is because nobody knew how to do it on their own. They started researching, asking questions.
I could not have gone through my experience without the library. I know everything, like you said, everything's online, but oh my
Yeah.
goodness, without the resources of the library, oh,
Mhm. Yeah, but like the internet and stuff. I mean, when was it started in 1990? Whatever.
some of
Out
us
when it
being
came,
way out in the country didn't get it, and the dial up was still the only option
right.
for a long
But
time.
even so, I mean, think about. I mean, rewind 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah.
The internet was nothing compared to what it is today.
Oh, absolutely.
And then we're on the cusp of this AI thing, and yeah, it's got bumps in the road, but honestly, I think it's going to work itself out. But in another 10 years, what we're going to have available at our fingertips is just going to be insane. You
Yeah.
know, I even was joking. So we had a pool party this weekend, kind of a end of the school year pool party.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the kids were talking, and Bella now likes to point out that Grandma and Grandpa are older than Google.
Oh, ouch.
Well, it's true. I mean, I can't change it. But the kids now they're young, 9, 10, 12 years old. But even my boys, I say boys, they're men, right?
Oh, yeah.
When you hit 30 years old, you pass boys. They'll always be my boys, but
Yeah.
but they can't really, they never knew life without the internet. And it's
Yeah.
weird to say, but Nick was born in 91
Mm-hmm.
or 90, whatever it was. I'd have to go back and do the math. But he's never known life without the internet. It hasn't existed.
That's interesting that you say that. My husband is a YouTube fanatic and was watching when the home computers were just starting to take off in the 80s. In
Mm-hmm.
the early 80s, he goes, "Don't you remember that?" I was like, "Wait a minute, this was an ad from 1982."
Yeah,
I
right.
was
You don't
like,
remember when you were 4?
I wasn't even four. I was like, I was
Oh,
3.
yeah.
I hadn't even reached nursery school, bro. Calm down.
Yeah. Well, I know you were born in 78, so I thought 4, but at the
Yeah,
very, very, very end.
I had a couple days left.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So you had pointed out, which I thought was really interesting, that child development professionals break down the benefits of this village concept into 3 core areas. And I hate to get all sciencey, but it actually kind of helps you understand it quite a bit, right? You've
Oh,
got
yeah.
social and emotional growth. They
Mm-hmm.
said that children thrive when they hear similar positive messages from different trusted adults. That's another advantage to the village. If you're doing it
Yes.
on your own, just even if it's the traditional family, husband and wife, it's still 2. But if grandma and grandpa say the same thing, uncle, cousin, brother, sister, niece, nephew, whatever, are saying the same thing. The neighbors are saying the same thing. The other people at church are saying the same thing. It has a wildly different impact to the adolescent mind or the toddler child mind than if, well, mom said. Because we all know the kids get to a certain age and it doesn't matter what mom says or how much wisdom mom or dad have. They're no. They put a wall up and like, I'm not going to hear that anymore.
Yes, yes,
I mean, that's just the reality of it. Uh,
absolutely.
yeah, the second point that they said was the relief and support that
Mhm.
children receive having that village. Caring for kids, as we all know, is intensely demanding,
Oh,
and community
yes.
support, I think, literally helps everyone. It makes
Oh,
me be a better father and grandfather, my wife be a better mother and grandmother, and make me be a better uncle, my wife be a better aunt, better cousins, whatever the
yeah,
case may be, because you don't have to have it turned on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, 365 days a year.
yes.
It's like being a parent. If you're going to do it on your own, if there's not a line item in your budget for mainlining cocaine, you can't keep going.
Exactly. Yeah,
And
you
that
literally
won't help
go.
anything either.
No, but I mean, how many parents today, um, I think how to word this politely, but I know, especially women, I can't speak for men because I don't know numbers, but over half, they take an upper so they can literally go to the gym, do all the things with the school and the kids and their job, and they literally take uppers to get through it. And then they have to go and get on another medication to force them to sleep at night.
Right? Yeah.
Um, Vyvanse is a huge popular one that I don't actually, I should have looked up what it's supposed to be for, but they use it like
Right.
an upper to get through their day. And I've
Hmm.
talked to countless women, oh, you don't take pills for, to keep going?
Right.
No, I'm just, permanently exhausted pigeon here. But
Yeah. What I think, I
yeah.
mean, more research is required, and I'm not anti-medication. Right? Support it
Oh, yeah. A
under
lot of
medical
people that need
supervision.
drugs. Yeah.
I know for me personally, less so now, but definitely when we were raising our four kids,
Mm-hmm.
there was so much go go go
Oh,
that you make sure the kids eat and they get balanced meals and they take their vitamins or whatever, and get your teeth brushed and go to the shower and yes, wash behind your ears, da 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 da. But you get so caught up in that. One of the things for me personally, I was so tired because hey, Michelle and I were early in our careers.
mm-hmm.
Um, so there's not a lot of money to go around. So you make sure the kids eat good, and then I'm eating leftovers or whatever. Or I'll stuff myself with whatever cookies and crackers and mac and cheese.
Yeah,
So
whatever's
for
left.
me, it was a nutritional issue. Um,
Oh, absolutely.
once I figured that out, and I never went to the doctor because I'm a stubborn male,
No way.
stereotypical. But you start eating better. Maybe I take a vitamin now and then, and all of
Yeah.
a sudden, wow, I slept through the whole night. Look at that! I haven't done that in years.
Oh,
Um, and now, at 50 years old, I eat pretty good, and I also take a lot of nutrition supplements.
yeah. As needed.
Yeah,
Yeah, absolutely.
I had to graduate to Centrum Silver because I'm old, but that's good though, right? It keeps me going, and even in sometimes a high stress work environment. Granted, the kids are
Yes.
raised, but we're raising Bella. But there's so much going on in the family that you.
Oh,
I mean, we keep saying, right? You've got to take care of yourself so that you can take care of everyone else. I'm no good to anybody if I'm not any good, right?
I was great. Of course, keep in mind, I got married at 20, had the first child at 21. That's incredibly tall. I look at people, you're a baby, dude. I had like multiple children at this point. Um, but oh my, I mean, just the
It's a
go.
lot,
Yeah.
and that goes back to, um, it goes back to needing that village, needing that community.
Oh my goodness, yes. And especially, okay, everybody needs that village. Um, as having multiple children with various needs,
Hmm.
medical, emotional, for
And
different
physical.
circumstances. Huh?
Yep.
Sorry.
I said and physical.
Yeah. I mean, when you're, that's totally out of your average person's wheelhouse.
Right. Right.
Well, you're dealing with that on top of your typical parenting. And, for me specifically, my main support could work 6 days a week, 14, 15 hours a day.
Right. Yeah.
That village would have been life altering, and not just for my benefit, but for my children.
Right.
And I mean, I put in 100%. I'll never, I've made a lot of mistakes, but I gave it 100% college try. I know that,
Right. Yeah. Well, I think most parents do. Right.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, there are those that don't, but I think we're all just kind of struggling to get by and doing the best we can. And retrospect is kind of a dangerous thing, right?
Oh,
Because
yeah.
you can go back and say, well, if I would have done this, or could I have done this better? Well, maybe you could, but does it matter? If you
That,
did the best you could do with the help that you had and the knowledge that you had been made aware of, what more do you want?
well, I think we want everything to figure out all the answers. At least this was 20. Keep in mind, 20 years old. Okay.
Right, right.
Um, but I wanted to be able to figure things out so I could make it, obviously life hurts sometimes.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
and there are some major bumps in the road. But I
Hmm.
wanted to either have the ability to have my kids know how to do things, or know somebody who knew how to navigate it, or
Right.
if they would just listen to prevent it in the
Yeah.
first place, which
Well, and
is
that
what,
gets into the third point that the psychologists were talking about, right? That skill diversity.
oh, yes.
Mhm. Different adults bring unique skills, hobbies, and wisdom to a child's life.
Hmm.
Um, one of the things that we've talked about before was out here in our community. Now, I'm blessed, and also, oh, cursed is a strong word, but there's some complications that go with marrying into a ginormous family. But the huge advantage, and we've talked about it before, is if the car breaks down and I can't afford to fix it, we have a couple mechanics in the family.
Yeah.
If something's going on with the computer, so I can't work at home, or the kids can't do their homework, or grandkids now at this point, we got a couple computer techs in the family.
Hmm.
If we've got construction workers, if somebody wants a deck built or a sidewalk poured, we got people. Or you know, I construction's my background. I've gone and installed garbage disposals and changed bathtub faucets and built decks and done all these. And it's just having now. That's getting off topic from the kids a little bit, but having those resources available is
Oh,
just
yes.
it's. And if nobody has an expertise in a particular area, we call up somebody. Hey, do you know anybody that welds? Or
Yeah.
you got any good recommendations on somebody where I'm not looking to get off scot free, but I can get a good deal on a landscaping project or whatever the case may be, right?
Yeah. I just made a similar call, be like, hey, do you know a guy? And he happened to say, on the one issue, no, but he was like, on the other one, yes, yes, I do. And he's 20
Mhm.
minutes from you, and very
Yeah,
available once you get the part. I'm
yeah,
like, really?
yeah.
Yes.
No, the hilarious thing is, I don't know what it was, 6 or 7 years ago, there was a joke going around social media that whatever your problem is, there's an app for that. My family is the app.
That's fantastic.
I literally have everything available on a phone call. And
Yeah, that's a huge blessing.
it's incredible. I mean, I'm so blessed. Um, and not everybody has that, but
Yes.
that's the now. I mean, this is it's a Native American community, so I joked that I don't have any friends. I have like 3 friends, but I have 400 family members that I talk to on a pretty regular basis. So
That's what you said.
I'm like, I can't be having no 50 friends. I can't keep up with all that.
You can't be a good friend when you got so many people you're speaking
Yeah.
with. Yeah.
Well, for example, we had I don't know what there were, 10 or 15 kids over for this pool party.
Hmm.
I think one, two, three of them were not blood related.
Wow.
Now, they all go to the same school. They all, they're all in the same place, but they're second, third, fourth cousins, which you and I growing up wasn't. I mean, we know we have them out there, but I couldn't tell you the name of a single second cousin. I could maybe think about it, but we've got people out here that, I mean, I got Michelle's cousins that call me uncle.
Yeah.
It's just a different dynamic, from a family standpoint, and bigger than that, a community standpoint. It's pretty amazing.
And that's great when I mean, that village is quite literally a village.
Yeah.
Where we grew up, our closest family member was 3-4 hours away.
Right. Yeah. It
So,
was, and that's.
yeah,
I mean, it kind of had to be, right? I mean,
well, they
mom,
split the difference. It makes sense looking back.
it did, and
Yeah.
mom and dad specifically, they went where the work was.
They went where the work was, and it was halfway, roughly. I think it was 4 hours to mom's family and 3 hours to dad's. And
Yeah.
they went to a city where the work was.
Yeah.
I
Well,
think
and they
that
literally
makes
met in the
sense.
middle, right? Well, literally
Yeah,
when they met,
yeah, they were in
they
the
were
middle.
about
Yeah,
2 hours from each place.
yeah, and I think that's interesting. Mom kind of built her own village.
Yeah, they
Because
definitely did.
again, I mean, just because of the nature of Dad's job, there weren't, when you're
Yeah.
gone all the time working to support your family, you can't
Yeah. Well,
be there
and
to cultivate
you know,
friendships.
yeah, and dad being a truck driver though, he knew a lot of
Yeah.
truck drivers in the area.
Yes.
So while they all became close, mom got close with the wives, right?
Yes.
I mean, there were three or four, three of them outside of her church community, which they built very well and
Well,
successfully, I believe.
yes.
Um, and I mean, mom's not here anymore to talk about it, and dad probably doesn't remember with the dementia. But what impresses me now is even when that church kind of split up, or
Mhm. It did. It split
it
twice.
did. I don't, was it ideological reasons or whatever? I'm not sure it matters. But those strong friendships continued.
Oh, yeah.
And
Up in
yeah, some mom and dad chose to leave. Some of the members chose to stay. Of course, that's how a split works. But even those that stayed, that didn't do any damage to their relationships. And I think that's pretty powerful, actually.
I actually it's been probably 3 weeks now. Ran into one of mom's best friends from that.
Oh wow!
Um, and kind of did the double take. Whoa, wanted to say you got old. Well, shoot, I got old too. But anywho, um, and just because we live over an hour apart, the chances of us running into each other are slim to none. But
Right.
she was saying of the trio of her closest people from that made different decisions. Um, she actually shared that when this church split the second time, that didn't diminish the friendship of the two that were left.
Oh wow!
Um,
That's
and
awesome though, right?
yeah, until the one now has, I guess, really bad Alzheimer's,
Right. You
and
told
doesn't
me that.
know. But and she's like, oh, and I was like, oh, and they've been friends. I mean, my goodness, she's pushing 80,
Right.
and to you know, hmm, anyway. Sorry.
Yeah. No, that anyway, that's awesome. Um, we had mentioned, or I think you had mentioned, that so many children and actually adults, for that matter, don't know how to interact with the general population. And I don't know. Now, here's what's weird about that. I agree, but I think that is heavily on our experience because we grew up in the sticks, right? I mean, I don't want to say categorically that, pick your number, 30% of people don't know how to interact with the general population. I don't know if that's true.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know that it's not true. But from our experience growing up, I mean, we grew up in Farmtown, USA, and it was great. There were a lot of advantages to it, but the fact is, there weren't a lot of people around. And then you took it a step further and went further out into the cornfields.
Yeah. I was going to say, wait a minute, that's like a big move from where I'm at. What are you
Right,
talking about?
right.
But
And like my kids, for example, and grandkids now it's different. We're north of Seattle a little ways, but there's so many people around. Now we're not, I don't live in downtown Seattle. It's not like we're inundated with humanity.
Oh wow, yeah, I couldn't handle that.
Yeah, but at the same time, they're exposed to so much on a cultural level, multilingualism. I never interacted with anybody until I got out of high school that was speaking some other language. I mean, the only reason I ever saw somebody of another race is because I was in sports.
But yeah, I was
When I
going to
wrestled
say,
in high school.
yeah, there wasn't. I hate to say that for a city, and if you mention the city, there, we'll narrow it down here. Southern Indiana.
Yep.
There's only one city anybody knows of, and at the
Right.
time, there was much less diversity than there is today.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's definitely changed. I mean, my God, I'm 50 years old now. But yeah, it was everybody spoke English. Everybody was white, and everybody's I feel like a incorrect term because there wasn't a lot of everybody.
No.
There were people around, but it's not like like a major city by any stretch. And
Yes.
now, like you said, it's changing, and time evolves all things. But my kids and now my grandkids especially, I'm so grateful that they get to see multiple different faiths and religions, multiple different languages, multiple different races. Because it was, I mean, let's face it, you and I grew up in a very racist community.
Well, and I think my son, the first time he came out there, nailed it with his comment.
No, which one? Because he had a few.
Well, when he was out there, he said, that was one of the things he said to me over the phone. I don't know exactly how he worded it to you, but he was blown away when you guys went to the grocery store. He said, Mom, you don't understand. There were probably 20 different races, and I don't even know how many languages. And I was like, yeah, you're in a much more diverse area. It's a wonderful experience, and we all need this. And he's like, no, Mom, you're not listening. Okay. But he said nobody was angry at another for the way they spoke or what they looked like.
Yeah.
That hurt, but it said everything at the same time.
Right. It's like people with different races and different languages and different religious beliefs can all shop at the same store.
Yeah.
And interact in the same environment and get along just fine. We do it here every day.
Yes.
But it's I don't know how you get over that. I mean, there's isolated pockets all over the country. It's not just the Midwest, right?
Oh, yeah.
But I don't know how you get past that. I mean, not that we weren't raised to be racist, right?
Oh, gosh, no.
But at the same time, you can't really understand that until you've seen it.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know if this is a good analogy, but you've seen the movie Good Will Hunting,
Yes, very good
and
movie.
Robin Williams and Matt Damon are sitting on the park bench, and Matt Damon's a genius, and he's read all the books on all the topics, and da 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 da. And Robin Williams is like, "But you've never been there. You've never done anything. You can't tell me what it smells like in the Sistine Chapel."
Yes. So you tell us,
Well,
what does it smell like in the Sistine
I'm telling
Chapel?
you, well, my smeller doesn't really work,
Oh, there's that. Yes.
but words cannot describe the inspiration and just awe of,
Mhm.
you start thinking about the time, the talent, but also the dedication that it took for Michelangelo to paint the ceiling of the Sistine Chapel.
Mhm.
And then you start looking around and it's like that's literally a drop in the bucket of what the Sistine Chapel offers.
Yeah.
Michelangelo gets all the accolades and well deserved. I'm not taking anything from him. Fabulous artist, but there is so much more to the Vatican and the Sistine Chapel than Michelangelo's ceiling. There's just so much artwork and history there. It just, I don't even know how to put it into words. It's incredible. And even if you're agnostic, it's not about the Catholic faith. I mean, it is obviously, but it's about the history, the dedication to their craft. And if you don't go see something like that, you're literally, Will Hunting. You read the book.
Yeah.
Not
There's a
that there's
difference.
anything wrong with reading the book,
Yeah.
but anyway, getting back on it, we kind of got off topic there a little bit. Not necessarily. Anyway, whatever. Um, so many children and adults, for that matter, like we were saying earlier, and I don't think it's isolated to the Midwest, but you get these smaller communities, and they just don't know how to interact with what I'm going to call the general population.
Yeah.
But the general population, the definition of general population has evolved over time, right?
Yeah.
I mean, to take it to the extreme, go back to 1492 when Columbus sailed the ocean blue, blah, blah, blah. Well, there were a bunch of white people on a boat. They were all Europeans, and that's cool. That's fine. But then they got to North America, and they're like, there's brown people here. What is this?
Yeah.
And they didn't know how to interact. It worked out for a minute until war broke out. They tried to steal all their stuff.
Yeah. Here detail.
Yeah, but yeah, but and then it gets worse because people tend to isolate within their own age groups, and that scares the crap out of me.
That's what I see the most.
Mm-hmm.
Is so many kids, they don't know how to speak to an adult.
Right.
And they're so buried in their electronics
Yeah.
and whatever's popular online, that's what they talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, not all, but I see it a lot here
Right.
because with the disadvantage to being, what do you call it, so out in the sticks, is the opportunities are limited.
Yeah.
So literally, if you don't talk to people in your age group, you don't talk to anything else. That or you're on your electronics.
Right.
And like, look
Well,
at how much life you're missing out on. Old people are cool. I know people
right.
kind of, I made that comment. I don't know. I was a teenager and somebody laughed at me. I'm like, yeah, they're kind of slow. That's an annoyance.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to lie, but I'm like, there's just to listen to them talk. I was just like, wow, the
Yeah.
stories of history.
Well, exactly, and that out here in the Native community, the elders are very well respected,
Mm-hmm.
which I am generally in agreement with. But as a whole, they hold all the experience. They hold all the wisdom, the knowledge, not that the younger generations aren't innovators. And for me personally, I expect my kids to be smarter than me and advance more than I did.
Mhm.
Um, but I want the kids to take what I learned, and also, and maybe more importantly, what I learned doesn't work, and apply that in their life.
Life. Yeah.
Um, so that's huge. But if you don't know how to communicate with somebody that's 30 years older than you kind of miss out on a lot of opportunity, I think.
Yeah. I see that a lot in around here.
Yeah. Well, because even in
I'm sure it's
small town
everywhere.
USA, right where you're at, it's by and large a farming community.
Hmm.
Well, there's people that have been farming that same ground for generations,
Yeah, I'm on a
and
Centennial farm. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, um, we can get into the corporate monopolies and blah blah blah. But the truth is, the people that are third, fourth, fifth generation farmers, they're just better at it because they've got 5 generations of experience
yeah,
to make it work. But anyway, and that kind of almost wraps it up. I think a couple of traps that you can fall into is,
oh,
you know, the world is increasingly isolated and online. I don't think online's a bad thing. I
oh,
think
no.
I think there's a world that's been given, a world of information that's been given to us. You just have to be careful with it. I'm a big
Yeah,
fan of the term trust but verify.
yes,
And we had talked about that the other day. I think we're just on the phone or whatever. There's so much misinformation online that AI can't differentiate.
yeah,
So you do a quick, search on Copilot or whatever your AI platform of choice, Chat GPT or whatever it is, and that's a great place to start. Awesome, verify it.
yes,
Look at the sources. If you're researching, I don't know, pick your topic, medicine, something, and AI is really good about citing its sources, right?
yes, I do
But
like that.
if you've got this is based on an article from Scientific Daily or you know some scientific journal or American Journal of Medicine or whatever it is. All right, that's pretty reliable. If their source, and I've seen this numerous times, is a Reddit thread,
Yeah,
well,
I was gonna say,
I'm,
I see Facebook says
yeah, I'm going to need to dig a little deeper.
if I had $1 for every time, maybe $10. If I had $10 for every time I have been asked, well, Facebook says this about a tax question,
Oh Lord, yeah,
I wouldn't have to work a tax season. I could take a
yeah,
whole season off
right, yeah,
because, well, I heard on Facebook.
uh huh,
Yeah, same thing with the Reddit threads. Yeah.
yeah, and that's okay. I'm not averse to Reddit. That's cool. And
Hmm.
there's some interesting things on there. And choose your Facebook, Pinterest, whatever it is. Instagram, cool.
What
But
to
dig
add
a
to
little
my
deeper.
ramen was the Reddit
Yeah.
thread that I got so much out of to this particular. I like that bull. I'm probably gonna butcher the name, but that bulldog um, ramen is my
Oh yeah, yeah.
favorite.
Oh, you
And
found it on Facebook? Yeah.
well, because even the first time I tried it, no, I found it on Reddit. The first time I tried it, you were here, and I'm like, it's just kind of it's missing something. And you're like, I know you were like, I know it's kind of basic. I'm like, oh, because I like their habanero lime. I'm like, you kind of added some things. It was better. But I was like, they added 3 things, and man, you're talking about a difference in flavor. And I was like, thank God for Reddit, you know?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And different people added different things, and
Mm-hmm.
anyway, sorry,
Yeah.
little topic,
So
but
village good, bootstraps bad. That's my summary.
Oh,
All
I
right.
agree.